This is Miracle Healings, and I am Leslie Williams. Coronavirus. We all are hugely impacted by this disease, and every day we are touched by the thousands and thousands of people worldwide that unfortunately lost their lives for this virus. But there's still hope. And this podcast, it's about it. It's about sharing story of amazing people that against all the odds were able to survive. And today I have the bless to have with me the beautiful survivor of coronavirus, Victoria Dan. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having
Hi,
me, Leslie.
Victoria. I am so thrilled to have you in the show today.
Thank
Yeah.
you for having me. Yes.
Yes, it's so important at this time that we are living this worldwide pandemic to have a beautiful, brave, and courage, beautiful woman like yourself to share a hope story because everyone, each one of us are needing to listen to this. So I would ask you, please, can you start to share your beautiful healing story?
Yes, sure. Me and my little son contracted the COVID-19 recently, I think 2 months ago. And it is faith, love, and a positive attitude that helped us to recover and survive from the virus. So, having been infected by this deadly virus really tested my relationship with my son and my character as a mom. It's like the universe suddenly threw a huge curveball onto our lives that literally shook us all one day. So it really started um, when I wasn't feeling well. That was like during the weekend, like a Saturday, Sunday. And I even went out with my husband. We went for a short real estate visit. And and I was okay, feeling fine, just doing my daily routine. And then when I came back home during those 2 days of weekend, I always feel very tired. And usually in my age, I'm also is an energy ball, so I don't get tired easily. But during those special weekend when I got home, I fell into my bed and I was like, oh my God, I was extremely tired.
So that was
So
your first symptom,
yeah,
extreme
that was my first symptoms.
fatigue and
Yeah, fatigue. And when I slept during the night, I couldn't really sleep very well because I am having this back pain, lower pain, and hip pain. Wow, there's a lot of pain going on. But I also had that pain before.
right.
That's why I never knew that it's special because I always carry my son and my son is getting heavier, so having I always have this lower back pain. But this is quite special because I really couldn't sleep. I always roll into bed and I couldn't find the right spot to sleep. So it's very disrupting, I should say. So those are the two symptoms that I noticed first, that I didn't really know that it's from COVID. And then the first one, and then so this comes Sunday, I felt something on my breast because I'm a breastfeeding mom. So um, I thought that I just had mastitis. So I also had that before because since I went out, I didn't latch or pump. So it's just common that I would have mastitis. So
Right.
it's like the engorgement of breasts.
Mm-hmm.
So um, if you have mastitis, you're going to have a fever. That's the initial reaction of your body.
Right.
Yes.
That
So
is
you're going
so
to.
important that you were bringing because breastfeeding and you being a mom and nurturing, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of moms out there that are in the same situation as you. And what you're describing is that symptoms were kind of the same, so it's even harder to diagnose.
That's correct. Yeah. So I was very confused. Okay, so I have mastitis and so I have a fever. I said during that night I had chills and I couldn't sleep. As in chills, like I had to wear like 3 layers of clothes and a blanket and socks, of course, and then I have to drink like lots of hot water and then embrace a hot bottle of water that my mom always prepares for me whenever I have my mastitis. Because this wasn't my first time to experience it. I experienced like mastitis like twice. And because I always like forget to pump or bring my pump whenever I go out because I really don't anticipate that I'm gonna take so
Right.
long. 'Cause usually I just go out for like 2 hours, but because of traffic, sometimes it takes me like 3 hours, 4 hours. So I experienced that. So it wasn't really my intention,
Mhm.
and yeah. So I had the chills. That's the third symptoms, like chills and fever. Yeah. So yeah. So the next day I said, "Oh God, I have a mastitis because I'm feeling it on my breast. It's so sore." And
Right.
so I just took paracetamol. So I thought it's like normal. But the thing is, my fever lasted for 3 days.
Mhm.
So after third day, I said, if I have a fever again the next day, I'm gonna call a private swab team to test me out.
Right.
So, but my mom and my husband, they're all like, no need. It's just mastitis. You already experienced that before. I
Right,
said, but
because
I
the
think
symptoms were so similar.
yeah, so similar. And I was like, but it's been 3 days. I never had a fever for 3 days just because of mastitis. It's different, I think. I feel, but I'm also very confident because that I don't have COVID because my fever is on and off. So sometimes I'm okay, sometimes I'm not. So within those 3 days, I took a shower. Sometimes I played with my son, but after like an hour or two, I would feel like my surrounding is moving. I had to like lay down. Those are those kinds of moments that are not similar to the common fever that I've
Right,
experienced in.
because it was
Yeah.
you were feeling kind of vertigo, dizziness. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had the fever, the back pain, the chills in your body, all the pain in your breast, right? And then
Yes.
all the
Mm-hmm.
cold, and on top of that, the
Mm-hmm.
vertigo and dizziness.
Yeah. It's like a fever, the common flu that we experience, but and I said, but just in case, peace of mind, because my mom is here living with us and she's a senior citizen. So I don't really want to risk, anybody if I have it, I was thinking. And so yeah, I called in the swap team, and it's only for me. I said, okay, let's do this. Let's have me tested. And then of course, I did it. And then I saw that I was positive. Oh my God. And I cried. I cried so hard. And I was like, but the first things that came out in my mouth is like, oh my God, please test everybody. That's what I said. I didn't care about me anymore. I cared about the people around me. It's because I already know that I was positive. So, and of course, I worried about my son, right? So everybody was like panicking, and they didn't really expect that they're gonna have a that they're gonna have a swab test because they didn't even care about me that I'm gonna have a swab test because they're against it. It's like, oh, it's common. And, they're not really worried about it. It's not that they don't care about me. It's that they're not worried enough that
Right.
it's covered because of the symptoms that I'm experiencing. And they see me that I can still walk, play with my son. So it's very common. So yeah, so everybody was like panicky, and yeah, after everybody got swabbed, it turned out my son and Yaya were also positive. So
How old is your son?
that time was 9 months old or 10 months old. Yeah, 10 months old. Yeah, the time that he had the virus. So during the time that I heard that he also had it, I cried so hard, as in like I can't believe it. Like how could it this little innocent, you know, little man can get that virus? It's so unfair, right? I mean, life is so unfair. It's like suddenly, and also I blame myself for not protecting him enough. And I was like questioning, is it from me? Did I get it from somewhere that I went to? But we always practice
Right.
safety protocols here in the Philippines. We have to wear masks, and on top of that, face shield. And I always carry alcohol with me, something like that.
Mhm.
So I asked Yaya. So Yaya actually had a fever even before me. So um, she had it, I think 3 days before me, and she actually told me that it's just because of her UTI. It was her day off when she had a fever, so she wasn't with us. And then when she came back, she told my mom that she had UTI and that she had a fever. And so I didn't really, made it a big deal because she said that it's UTI. So
Mhm.
I thought that she went to a doctor, and then, because she was taking antibiotics. And here in the Philippines, you can't get antibiotic unless you are prescribed by doctor.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought that it was fine because she's here working again, helping me out. And she seems fine. She doesn't have a fever or something like that. So it's like me, right? It's like the fever is on and off.
Mhm.
But the day that I got swabbed and we all got swabbed, she said that she's having slight fever as well.
Mhm.
So it went back. So I was like, all right, so we are tracing where or from who the fever
Right.
started. Yeah, because it's very important, the contact tracing,
Mhm.
because we know, at least we know next time
Right.
what's really wrong or something. And so she said that she just stayed at home and she didn't talk to anybody else except her family. And so even before she went for a day off, she said that she was feeling um, tired or not really good. She
Mhm.
was feeling normal. So she said that probably it's here that she got the virus.
Mhm.
So we were like thinking, okay, there's no point of blaming who got it from or,
Right.
who started it. But it's important that we trace where it's from. So I think we came to a conclusion that we got it from around here, the neighborhood in our
Right.
village. Mm-mm. Because every afternoon, it's because it's been a year that Saya, stayed at home, like 8 months. No, until December, we don't go out. So it's like 9 months that he's stuck at home. So around February, we started going outside here, just here around the neighborhood, to stroll around for like 15 minutes in his stroller. My nephew, my 6 years old nephew, and my yaya
Mhm.
every afternoon, 4 o'clock, 15 minutes. And I think we got it there because Yaya said that she saw some of the kids playing basketball around the village without mask.
Mhm.
So she thought that, yeah, it's from there because Yaya and my 6-year-old nephew also tested positive.
Oh,
So Yaya's my baby, and
and you
Siegfried,
have.
my nephew, they had it all except my mom.
Mhm.
Thank God. Oh my God. You know, I mean,
So,
it's
when you mentioned that when you guys realized after you test that you were positive, all the family panic, and how was these emotions, and you mentioned that you felt guilty because of your son, and it was like a roller coaster, I believe, of emotions. Why, when you realize, okay, I got this virus, and even if you were home, right?
Yes.
Um, how was that moment? Um, what you lived in the emotion? What kind of emotions that you were dealing with?
Yes. I think all the parents love their son with all their heart, right? So I think I am also, I love my son with all my heart, and I would move a mountain if I could for him. That's how much love means to me when it comes to my son. And knowing that the news uh, about coronavirus, that he also contracted it, it is love that I felt. So imagine how I felt when I knew that he got the virus. So my heart was totally broken and my mind started. I told earlier that blaming myself and doubting even my capability as a mom, right?
So on top of dealing with all the physical issues from the virus, your mind, your emotions were
It,
right,
yes.
which
So
which are very important because the state of mind influence directly in our immune system. So if and I understand that it's there's no way for someone that is living this not to be worried or anxious or anguish or any of these emotions, right? Because it's so unexpected.
it is very unexpected. So I cried so hard because worst case scenarios were running in my head, like what you said. Because on top of the symptoms or pain that I was experiencing, it is actually the things that's running in my head that bother me. And also at the time, I wasn't ready to face all of it. And I deeply pitied my son for experiencing such a thing at a very young age. You know that expression when you see somebody is very young and got sick, and you're like, why is life like that? You know, I pity this little kid who experienced it at the very young age. He doesn't even experience the world yet. I mean, my son is not wasn't even a year old when he contracted the virus. And imagine my mind was like thinking the worst case scenarios, what could happen to him. And I was like, I don't want him to not experience the things that I prepared for him or I planned for him. You know, I'm so ready for him that I want to bring him all around the world. But then this happened. Imagine. I think my plan for him was like, oh, disrupted. And my mind is just full of fear and guilt at the same time. But in the middle of my doubts and tears, it is love that made me realize that we could conquer this virus together. It is love that made it possible for me to take care of him, even though I was too sick. Because when we were in quarantine at home for 2 weeks, my little son showed little to no symptoms. But me, I showed almost all the symptoms, except cough and difficulty of breathing. So it is love, actually, that made me love my role as a mom even more. I
Mhm,
love my son so much, that's why I did the best I can to survive this virus.
mhm. So
So yeah,
what it was the feel, the love that you have for your son was what kept you moving and got probably you out of the craziness of the first news and how to deal with everything that he was saying, but the energy of love, right? The strong energy of survival and being alive and fight for the life of your son. And one thing that I think it's important to mention is that so you started the treatment at home. You haven't go to the hospital or anything.
so because we had this private swap team came over, it was a doctor who swabbed us out.
Mhm.
So he already prescribed us some medicine. So we don't need to go to the hospital yet,
So
except
what
if
he
we have
prescribed
difficulty
for
breathing.
yourself?
Sorry?
What was the medication that it was prescribed in your
Oh,
case?
it's azithromycin. It's for the cough. It's just to cure the symptoms.
Mhm.
For cough, whatever you're feeling, your sore throat. So he prescribed us some mouthwash, you know, the Hectidol mouthwash, and some more to fight off the sore throat and the cough, and if there's something in the lungs.
Mhm.
So there's antibiotics as well. I forgot the name.
Right,
But overall, it's not advised here in the Philippines to go right away to the hospital
right.
because it's full. Every
The
hospital here in Metro
hospitals
Manila
you have.
is in full capacity. Yeah,
Mhm.
so they encourage everybody to self quarantine at home if you're only experiencing mild symptoms. But just the time, if there's a time that you experience difficulty in breathing, you have to go right away to the nearest hospital. So yeah.
And then you were taking the medication and your son
My
was
son continues to take his vitamins,
mhm.
the multivitamins plus zinc. That's very important.
Oh, that's wonderful that he brought it. So
And
so you
mhm,
both
and
treat with zinc. That's wonderful.
plus zinc. Also, I take like supplements, my D3,
Wonderful. So you
D3
took
and
zinc as
vitamin D.
well?
Sorry?
You took zinc as well in your case?
Yes. It's prescribed as well that you have to take ascorbic acid plus zinc.
Mhm.
Uh, if you can take 1,000 milligrams of that, that would be amazing.
Right.
And for my son, since he doesn't have any symptoms, but he has random cough and cold, I cough or he sneezes randomly. I don't know because of dust or something in the room, but his pedia also gave us a prescription for to treat
Mhm.
mucus and some for cough. So it's also allowed for him to take it, but I didn't let him take it yet. I
Mhm.
mean, I didn't let him take it at that time because it wasn't that bad.
Mhm.
So as much as possible, I limit his intake of or I mean some paracetamol or something like that because I don't want him to overdose. I'm giving him paracetamol all the time already, like every 6 hours,
Right.
because I'm afraid that maybe he has body pain that he's not telling me. So, I mean, he couldn't tell me because it's a baby, but
Right.
right? So he was fuzzy sometimes. So I just continue giving him paracetamol and his vitamins throughout our quarantine.
Right. And you were taking zinc as a supplement, and what else? What kind of other supplements?
I was taking zinc, ascorbic acid plus zinc, and D3. That's very
Vitamin
important.
D3.
Yeah, vitamin
Wonderful.
D3. And that's very important.
Yes.
Yeah. It
Yes.
wasn't in the prescription of the doctor, but I researched about it and my husband researched about it.
Yes.
So we bought it and so I took it. And what
I'm
else?
so
I
glad that you're touching in this subject because it is proved already by so many studies all over the world the benefits of vitamin D3 when it comes to the fighting of this virus. And you were there to prove that it works, and not only vitamin D3 but also zinc, right?
yes. And I also took some I don't know if you're into essential oils, but
Yeah.
I was into essential oils as well.
Mhm.
So I have this diffuser, so I always diffuse sieves to boost immune system for me and my son when we were stuck in the room for like 2 weeks. And sometimes I also diffuse eucalyptus or peppermint.
Mhm.
I started sniffing as well. I put like hot water in a glass, and then I drop some, maybe one drop or two of peppermint, and I always inhale it. And eucalyptus. It's because I didn't have a sense of smell and taste as well.
Right,
So
because it's one of the things that
one
happen,
of the symptoms.
right?
So when
How
I
many
had it
days
actually,
you were without the sense of smell and taste? Do you like a week or
that was the time that I realized like, oh, this is real. I really got it. Because that is the only thing that I never experienced in my life.
Mhm.
The rest I experienced having sore throat already,
Right.
having fever, back, I mean, muscle pain, fatigue, those are like the common things that we experience as, I mean, if we have a flu. But having no at all sense of taste and smell, that was the time that I panicked and I was like, oh my, I don't know what to do anymore. I was like blown away what this virus really could do.
But
And
then also, you were taking the supplements, right? And you follow, you have all these antibiotics, and it worked.
yes, it worked. And I think it also worked for my sense of smell and taste is when I inhale peppermint oil that
Yes.
I diffused
Yeah.
because it was really strong is that even though I don't have sense of taste and smell, it goes right here in my nostrils and I can feel it. It makes gives me a relief
Mhm.
feeling. Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's one of actually I can say one of the things that helped me a lot to recover because I did it every time before going to bed.
Mhm. Right.
And also the lemon ginger tea that I always drink.
Yes. Yes. So all these approach when holistic and natural approach, because it's not only through with corona, but so many other issues, so many other health issues, that if you focus and build your immune system, it works, right? And again, you would have to prove it. Um, did you have a shift on the first impact and all the emotions that you had when you first knew, okay, I got the virus and all that we mentioned before, to a new state of mind where you were, okay, I can make it, I can do it? Did you do you have like a breakthrough moment?
Yes, of course, because the breakthrough moment happened when my sister and who's a registered nurse and my husband kept reassuring me about the recovery of COVID. The moment that I started crying because my son had a virus, from afar, they kept on telling me the statistics of recovery and how I can fight the virus. And so my mind like started to um, um, how to call that thinking in a practical way and in a rational way as well that oh yeah that makes sense you know the ones that they're saying that at your age the recovery is very high and for Saya don't worry about it kids survive because they have this immune system that fight off the virus. You just have to continue taking these vitamins and you have to be consistent. You can do this and we're here for you, something like that. That's
So
how they.
basically, what are you telling me? That's wonderful. That you shift your awareness from outside, from right, from oh my God, what is going on in the world, and all this, and I'm gonna contract this virus, and it's gonna be horrible. To focus your awareness in the solution, in yourself
Yes.
and the solution,
Yes.
and look what happened, right? So just the slightest
Mhm.
shift of focus and not focusing so much in the energies and all the emotions, but yet in the solution. What can I do? right? To
Yes,
recover.
basically, because as a mom, we don't really have the time to focus on the problem. We always like have to find solutions right away, like quickly, because it's our son that's at stake, right? It's like in every situation that we have on hand. Once, for example, our baby like fell on the ground, we have to get him up or like tell him like, hey, you can do that, get him, I mean, get up, you can do that. We have to act right away, like, oh, he needs this, I have to get it. I mean, think about like different scenarios all the time and then find the solution. And at the end, the most important thing is for you to help your son survive, to make him healthy and happy. So that was in my mind when I knew that he also had the virus. And also, I want to put importance to the people around us. It's very important actually to listen to them, especially our support system, whenever you have this virus. So that's why right now I knew that my breakthrough was because of my sister and my husband. Now, when I knew that one of my friends had it, or in my Facebook contact list that they have it and they'll contact me or ask some questions about medicine, I'll immediately, give emotional support,
Mhm.
because I think that's the most important thing about all
Basically,
prescription
love
medicine.
again, right? So
Yes,
you were moved by the love from your son and then love for yourself because, right, it moved you to fight and find the solutions, and also the love from your family. So
yes,
how important it is to find the place of love, even if all over the world we are hearing so much about this virus all the time. And
yeah.
what about fate? Do you had
Mhm.
fate?
Yes, it was also here this moment that I realized the importance of faith.
Mhm.
So, as a person, I'm not really a very spiritual, but I definitely have faith. I have faith in life, and I have faith in energy and supernatural beings above us. Yeah, I maybe I know that there's God above us, Buddha above us, Allah above us, everything above us. They're for sure supernatural beings above us that I always pray for whenever I'm sad or whenever I'm so happy. I was like, thank God, or thank whoever there is above us, or you know, whenever I'm sad or in desperate times, like in this moment, every night, because I'm alone. I'm all alone. I can't talk to anybody like beside me. I can chat, but it's different.
Mhm.
So
But you
whenever
have
my son,
faith within yourself, in life, in your son's life, in your
yes,
family, and
mhm,
in keep going, right?
yes, it is actually a way for me to check into my heart
Mhm.
and find my true intentions.
Yes.
So when I was in quarantine, I kept my faith up and trusted the supernatural beings to bestow me healing and my son. It gave me comfort and hope. And I think in these trying times, those are the two important things that
Yes.
we need: comfort and hope.
Yes.
So,
So
yeah.
important.
Mm.
And
It was very hard for me to sleep during the night.
mm,
Some of the people take melatonin
yes.
to sleep because it was very hard for it's I mean, based on my experience, your mental health was it puts your mental health into a different spot. That's why it's hard for you to sleep during the night. But for me, I couldn't take melatonin because my my baby is with me and
Right.
he wakes up during the night and I have to nurse him.
Right.
So it was very hard for me to have enough rest.
Mhm.
But what I do is to pray and to keep my faith up. That's the only source that I have to get comfort.
And it did, because look
And it
at
did.
you.
Yes.
You're beautiful, you're healthy, right? And I would
Yes.
love to hear about your book. You are an
Yeah.
author, right?
Yes. Yeah, the book. Also, my COVID story is in the book. It's in this special section
Oh,
because it's also about my story and my son. That's why I put it in the book because having this virus, like I said earlier, it tested my relationship with him
mhm,
because he's a baby and he has lots of needs. And imagine yourself being quarantined in one room with him for like 2 weeks
right,
while you are sick.
right.
It really tested my patience and my capability as a mom. And I'm not gonna um take the good side here, but I'm gonna be blunt or be real to all of you that I also had moments that I almost gave up during the quarantine. It's because I don't think I can do it anymore
Mhm,
because I have to take care of him while I care for myself. And I really didn't have enough sleep because at that time my baby was also teething. So it was very hard for him to sleep through the night. So I had to get up like 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and I had to sway him by myself without any help, feed him,
mhm,
bathe him. Meanwhile, I can't even take a nap during the day because he doesn't want me to put him down in bed because he was teething. Those are like the moments, special moments during the quarantine that I just I almost gave up. And I remember there was one moment before we almost tested negative. I cried so hard. Like in the morning, I opened the door, I saw my husband, and I cried so hard. It just, I broke down and I was like, I couldn't take it anymore. I just, I can't take it. I was so tired, and I think I won't be able to recover this virus if I continue caring for him. I said, I'm not giving up as a mom, but I was giving up as an individual.
right.
It's two completely different things that I struggled the most during the quarantine. So,
Yeah,
so yeah, it was it's very emotional for me to experience that, and also my son. So yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
That's wonderful.
All right.
It is a result of all this love and how you were able to leave these moments. And at the end, as we mentioned, look at yourself and you were able to recover and you were brave and you found within yourself the strength, the courage, the faith, the love, the most important thing, love for life, hope, right? In the midst of the chaos that this virus had brought to so many all over the world. So this is very inspiring, and we are very happy that you are here to share with us in the podcast and all the people that will listen to your beautiful story. And I want to hear more about your book, more about what you do.
Yes. So my book is about it's called Go Momshie. It's about motherhood, keep it real, get it done. It's all about my authentic experience as a mom. And I made sure that I kept it real, no, going around the bush, and all about goodness of motherhood. Of course, there are struggles and real situations that I put in this book, like what we experienced during COVID. And I mean, I created this book as a self help book with the hope that I could shed a light, inspire, and share my wisdom with other momshies around the world. So, yeah, it's gonna be launching on July 15th,
Ah,
but you can pre order your book at www.victoriadang.com. So, yeah, I think through this book, you're gonna learn um, my my authentic experience more, and you're gonna know more about me as a mom and as an individual.
that is wonderful. Victoria, what a victory. What a victory, what an inspiration to all of us. Thank you so very much for being the show today. And after all that you went through and this experience with the virus, would you say the life is beautiful?
Yes, of course. Life is so beautiful. And I appreciate more my sense and sense of smell and taste after I got it back. Oh my god, this food was so delicious. The coffee was amazing. I mean, and I'm glad to say, and I'm so proud to say that we recovered from it, but we are more careful than ever today since the pandemic is still not over yet and we could still get it. There's nobody is safe,
Mhm.
and since we got it, we already I mean, all of us here in the house are prepared and taking everything like healthy precaution and protocols very seriously now. Before, it's only seriously. Now it's very seriously. But before I let you go and before I, say goodbye, I
Mhm.
just wanna share my greatest lesson that I've learned
Yes,
from this
please.
heavy experience.
Yeah.
Because I think this important lesson that I want to share with you, everybody has to know this. It's important to truly accept the fact that nobody can help you but yourself,
Yes.
especially when you're dealing with your own way of thinking. Because your mental health when dealing this virus is really important. You know, it has to be really strong. And you have to be strong as a person. Yes, there are people around you, like what I've said. I have my husband, I have my family here, sisters, and like that, who will have your back. But it's important to truly understand that the real power of healing is within you and only you can make yourself get out of bed each day.
Yeah.
This is
Wonderful.
what's in my mind for the rest of home quarantine. I said, if I don't get up, if I won't, get up and start my day, nobody's going to take care of my son and nobody's going to help me. It's me who's like having this mind or like scenarios in my head, nobody else. It's me who can, put the energy within me and then uh, pull myself up, get out of bed each day. Nobody else. So yeah,
And
that's
at
my
the
message.
end, it is a gift. It was a gift, right? Because this lesson is wonderful. And I thank you so much for sharing with us because it's very important for a lot of people who are going through it right now. Victoria, once again, thank you so much for being the show.
Thank you for having me, Leslie.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.